right, let's go ahead and talk about part 3, scientific notation. So I'm going to be switching between scientific and standard notation. To make something scientific notation, you want one number in front of the decimal, followed by some numbers that are significant digits, times 10 to an exponent. So here, I want my one number in front of the decimal to be my 9. If it's out of sight, the decimal starts to the right, so I move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I'm going to put the 6 as my exponent. Now, this was a large number to begin with, so that 6 is going to be positive. The 9 is my one number in front of the decimal. And then I only put the significant digits behind it, so things that aren't zeros and zeros that are placeholders. So 3, 4, 5. So 9.345 times 10 to the 6th is that number written in scientific notation. Here I have 6.7 times 10 to the negative 4. Now, negative 4, negative numbers are to the left on the number line, so I'm going to move my decimal point to the left. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and fill in with zeros. So my answer is 0.00067 in standard form. Here our exponent is positive, so we move our decimal place to the right. So I have 5.24, and I move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and fill in with zeros. Okay? 0.36 in scientific notation, we want one number in front of the decimal. I move it one place to get the 3 in front of the decimal, so that's 3. I keep my significant digit of the 6. Times 10, I moved it one place, but it was a small number, so that's 10 to the negative 1. Here, again, we want one significant digit in front of the decimal, so that's the 5. And I move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places. So my exponent is going to be 7 here. Again, it was a really small number, so that exponent is negative. And then I keep the significant digit of the 3. You have 2.3 times 10 to the 8th. 8 is positive, so I'm going to move my decimal to the right. Positive numbers are to the right, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I fill in those gaps with zeros. Here again, we have a positive exponent, so I move my decimal 3 places to the right. So I go 1, 2, 3, and fill in with zeros. I want one significant digit in front of the decimal, so that's got to be the 9. So I move my decimal 1, 2, 3 places. I put the 9 down, times 10 to the 3rd, except that number was small to begin with, so that's a negative 3. There's nothing for me to put behind the 9, so I can just leave it like that. Here I have 8 times 10 to the 2, so I'm going to move my decimal places 2 places right because the exponent is positive. If it's out of sight, the decimal starts to the right, and I move it 1, 2 places, so that's 800. Here I want one number in front of the decimal, one significant digit, so that's going to be the 7. And I'm going to move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's times 10 to the 14th. It was a really large number, so that 14 stays positive. And I keep my significant digit of the 5 behind the decimal. Same thing here. You want one significant digit in front of the decimal, so that's going to be the 1. If the decimal is out of sight, it starts to the right. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 places. It was a large number to begin with, so the exponent stays positive. And I keep the 4 of the significant digit. Last but not least, I have a negative exponent, so I'm going to be moving my decimal to the left. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my decimal ends up here, and I fill in with zeros.